because that tells me that you don't have any belief system.
Well, I saw some videos of inside Iran at marketplaces. I don't know if these were earlier in the year, um, but the population is very young. Like there's a lot of young people there, and
Right.
they don't all have the hijab on or whatever. All these girls are looking like they're emo, meaning they're very Europeanized already. Um,
Well, that's kind of the history of that region.
what, like European
Well, yeah,
inroads?
I mean before 1980, that was the culture.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
It'd be
and Persians aren't Arabian people. They're a different group of people.
right. They were conquested by uh, the Muslims, right? By Omar.
Yeah, yeah, but that's you know what was it? The Medes. The Medes, I believe, was mountain people, weren't they? They was the mountain tribes,
Mm.
and it was the Medes and the Persians that came together, kind of out of necessity to not be conquered. Um, that created the Persian Empire. I mean, that's kind of the history of those people. But
Well, see,
you know,
this is my critique of history hypnosis lessons. Is that, like, if say we were actually like ambassadors, um, or negotiators, on behalf of the president. Um, did you ever see that Tucker Carlson Putin interview where Putin
yeah,
yeah,
I've seen bits and pieces of it. Yeah,
well, for 1 hour prior to having any conversation or discussing anything, he gave a lecture about the history of Russia for an hour. And have you ever seen the movie Deer Hunter with Robert De Niro?
no, I haven't.
Uh, it's like a three-part movie because it's like 3 hours, but the first hour is all a wedding scene. So what I'm trying to say is that if you if if we want peace now, the history hypnosis lessons are basically like spam to take you out of the now, where you have to come up with reasonable, rational solutions. Um, but anyways, I mean,
Yeah, but now here's one thing that a lot of people don't consider. Uh, and I'm no fan of Putin. Don't get me wrong, but there is historical context for how the Russian people think about this. You had the Khans come through that region.
yeah,
You've had Napoleon. You've had that region has been right with different empires coming through, and the people of that region suffering tremendous losses because of that. And it kind of leads to a mindset of, you know, the Mother Russia type thing. Like we, we got 1,000-year history of people trying to conquer this land, and we're going to protect it at any cost. You can't disassociate someone's history of constant. Well, you look at the Germans, you look at Napoleon, you look at the Khans. These are all people that came through that region and inflicted tremendous casualties on that group of people. And those people don't forget that kind of stuff, and it becomes part of them and how they think.
well, uh, you know, you know what snafu means, right? Situation normal, all fucked up.
Yeah.
So, has anybody ever gotten into a war of any significance or commitment and not snafu'd? Because the situation that America is facing and the situation that the Iranian government or regime is facing is annihilation on their behalf. And but Trump says half the country is militarized. And if we actually want to win a war, as opposed to just have snafu and quagmire indefinite, which I don't even really think is a quagmire or indefinite, because it's just touch and go. Everything is a day at a time, day to day, day to day, day to day. And so to critique Trump, what's so crazy is the liberal progressives on this app. They will scream things like they're assassinating the wrong people, or his military strategy was weak and ineffective. It's like, oh, did you want him to be more hardcore and more extreme? Who the fuck are you? Like the things that come out of liberals' mouths as they try to play their side, I guess, but then they enhance the other side to an extremely high degree. You're like, I don't know. There's just a lot of very irrational people on this app, I think.
Well, the problem with it is liberals, and when it comes to conflict, is they want to ignore the complete history of the human race. When it comes to conflict, why does it occur? What's the motivation behind it? What do you have to do to neutralize it once someone becomes that way? And the liberals want to pretend that this history of humanity, there's a reason there was a Roman Empire. There was a reason there was Genghis Khan. There was a reason all these people done what they done, and the motivation behind it. And if you don't understand this, it's like I told someone one time, I can't remember who I was talking to. The only difference between me and you and someone that lived 2,000 years ago is the tools that we have to work with. The motivation and the desires of the human experience remain the same. The only thing that changes is the tools that we can employ to achieve those things. And people want to pretend that somehow that because we live in this world where we have the internet and we can fly around the world, that somehow our motivations and our driving forces are disconnected from people that lived 2,000 years ago. No, it's not. The only thing that's changed is the tools. That's it.
Well, we have a lot of information from the past 100 years in America that our leaders in 2026 are not utilizing, or they are, and I'm unaware of it. But it seems to me that the Trump derangement syndrome that is impacting so many people. Um, it's really a question of what type of communication do people want to project, or what do they want to consume in terms of their content experience. Um, but what's amazing is if you critique the war in Iran, whatever day it is, 145 days of war or whatever. I mean, the initial blow by taking out the Ayatollah to me is like the checkmate right up front. And that intelligence and targeting, I mean, I think they've taken out 3,000 plus senior IRGC officials. That's a pretty big decapitation already. But I personally would never ever want to do a physical ground invasion of any significance. Maybe some commandos with limited strikes in key areas, but never like an actual engagement where we would have to supply and hold territory and coordinates for X amount of days. That would just be such a horrible waste of time and energy and lack of tactic or strategy in 2026. Because with these drones, have you seen what they're doing to the Russians in
Yeah.
Moscow? And yeah, I mean, this is very effective. I mean, I know Ukraine has been fucking obliterated, But these types of annoying attacks that disrupt their oil industry, it's enough to drive people crazy, in my opinion, to make them start wanting to to tell their government, "Hey, nuke these fuckers off the face of the earth."
Yeah, well, one of the things that people don't want to come to terms with is, we had multiple presidents trying to deal with these people. And do you know what the belief in the 12th Mahdi is?
The 12th Mahdi?
Yeah. Do you know what that belief system is
Is it part of
and what they're obstinate?
is it the Shia Twelvers or something?
Yeah, and one of their core beliefs, and it's embedded within the leadership of Iran, is that if they can create enough havoc in the world and enough destruction, that it will force the 12th Mahdi to return to the earth and implement Sharia. That's what drives these people.
Mm-hmm.
That's the irrational thought to operate off of. And if someone like that would gain access to a nuclear weapon, well, it play right into their belief system. The thing to do is use that weapon so we can force the 12th Mahdi back to the earth. And how do you negotiate with someone that thinks that way? You can't. There's no negotiation with that mindset.
Well, the political response, using Christian evangelicals as the basis, would be, from a progressive liberal, they would say, well, the Christians here in America have the exact same belief about Jesus Christ. How do you defend that argument, Steve?
No, they don't. That's not the belief system, because I'm Christian and I know eschatology, and that's not what eschatology teaches.
I agree. I'm just saying that is what I would consider a common response. Yeah.
Yeah, it's complete perversion of eschatology in the Bible. It's no Christian believes that. I mean, Christians actually believe that it's going to be outside influences that is going to force this type of thing to unfold. They don't believe that they're masters of making it unfold. They believe they'll witness it and have to respond to it, which is diametrically different than the Ahmadis.
The headline on Drudge Report this morning was that Saudi Arabia is going nuclear.
Yeah, wouldn't you? I mean, if you don't think that we can stop the Iranian and the way the Iranians are playing this out, and the way the left and the way the political class in the United States, they don't want to do what's necessary to make sure that they can't. So Saudi Arabia is sitting there watching this unfold, and if I see them, I'd be the same way. We better ramp this thing up and have a situation where if they decide to do that, we can respond. That's the danger in all this, and people don't see this. And think about this, John. What if the whole Middle East, given that 20-25% of the energy used in the world goes up in flames? What happens to the world economy? No one wants to confront that aspect of it. Say, well, we got $4 a gallon in oil prices. Yeah, we do. Think what oil prices would be if there's a nuclear exchange in the Middle East and there's all-out conflict. How many tankers are going to be leaving out of Saudi Arabia if they're exchanging all-out war with Iran?
Mm-hmm.
Or you get Jordan, you get Iraq, and you get all these nations involved in that. What do you think it's going to do to the world economy? No one wants to face that. And that's the potential. That's what we're talking about. This whole region that could take the world economy down if it goes up in flames, and no one wants to confront.
I'm looking at an article by a guy named Mike Scheuer. It's called "Let Us Put the Blame for the World's Economic Downturn Where It Belongs," and it's not only on the Iran war. Some of his evidence is instead, however, we hear a deafening silence from those who could produce oil and get it to at least some markets while the Strait of Hormuz are blocked as a consequence of yet another of America's endless, unnecessary, unconstitutional wars. For now, however, we see no such action underway. Indeed, this week you will see yet another British socialist sworn in to be the UK's next Prime Minister. The media has not reported that he is ready to reopen Britain's North Sea oil assets to development and production, and so we must assume that he will remain a member in good standing among Europe's prominent fools, men and women who are happy to stick with the blatant and long-standing environmental lies and the god of socialism, while the Western economy comes to a grinding halt.
Yeah, it was like the other day when Gary said, well, some of these other countries have better social policies for their country than we do. Well, yeah, you can have that social policy if you have someone like the United States footing the bill for your defense, like Europe. European Union, they've said and didn't pay their bill for NATO for years, diverted the money they should have been putting into the military into social programs and said, yeah, go ahead, you chumps over in the United States. You take care of the defense umbrella for us while we. It's like having a friend that says, every time we go out to dinner, yeah, let's go have dinner. You get there and he said, are you paying this time? And you say, hey, man, when you ever going to pay for this? Well, I might get around to it someday. How long would you put up with that, John?
Well, I mean, like Bush said, fool me once, fool me twice, kind of thing. But there's a lot of countries out there that act like uh, insatiable vampire demons that just want to drink your blood. And
Right.
I don't know if you saw that Kennedy and Dr. Oz just paused $1 billion to California for Medicaid uh, because of accusations of systemic fraud. And if you look, Hegseth says we're short. The mayor of Chicago says we're short. It's like, oh well, you guys spent it all. Where do you think it just comes from? Do you want the Federal Reserve to just print it up, or should we just jack the tax rates up? I mean, the
Right.
when the book is this big, you don't even have to worry about balancing it.
Right.
But it's still got to be there to for the transfer to happen. And if there's nothing there, uh, anyways, I'm just saying that I'm not really too concerned about the future. I think that all war is nothing but you know gray zone and quagmire and snafu over and over and every day and oh my god, because what you're really doing is a funeral procession, and it's like spear chuckers, they just keep running back and forth with spears and they keep chucking them at each other, and every day there's a couple losses here, a couple losses there. But the fact that we got the Ayatollah and senior IRGC officials uh, and zapped them, they didn't have to walk into the bug zapper. We sent the bug zapper to them, and I don't know. I mean, I've been to Israel a few times, and I would much rather side with Jews fighting Islamic terrorists than side with Islamic terrorists fighting Jews. So I'm with Israel. I think they should completely uh, destroy any Hezbollah military assets in Lebanon and go full scale war there and liberate Lebanon with the assistance of the United States. If if that was me, but again, I wouldn't want to have to. I mean, could you imagine being the president and being responsible for thousands of special forces soldiers over an extended period
Oh
of
yeah.
time dying? I mean, that responsibility is. I don't, this isn't World War I where you can throw 100,000 people into the slaughter. It's not the
Well,
Civil War.
though there are times that force is necessary. I mean, there's going to be people and nations that's going to force you to make a decision, either capitulate to their will or fight. That's inevitable at certain points. And to your point, I think the important thing there is to delineate when you've seen that point and when you're just, going out and throwing military force around in a way that's not really necessary. That's the question, in my mind. Hey, John, I got to get out of here, man. It's good talking to you.
Okay, peace, Steve. Take care. Okay, this is the Good Morning America show. Welcome.
John Kitover.
It's a new day in Gigi's mansion where everybody gets a luxury car, patties and manis, Chanel purses for everyone. Yeah! Another episode of Gigi's mansion.
What's going on?
I'm making a show over here.
Bitch, you better not be fucking broadcasting us on a fucking live TikTok or something.
No, I don't have to. I mean, I don't do live TikTok commonly.
Don't you have like 10,000 TikTok accounts?
Yeah, I do. But I'm not on TikTok.
I love TikTok.
You know what's annoying is people that like, you'll say, "Oh, do you have a TikTok?" And they'll be like, "Ugh, no." But then they spend maybe like 2 hours a day looking at TikTok.
Yeah, I hate such people. Own up to it, whatever you like.
Be
Yeah.
be transparent.
Yeah,
Well, if not gonna be transparent, at least don't be fake.
No, that's what transparent is. Don't be fake.
No. Being transparent, like you're showing what you are, or like whatever you want to show. Not being fake is like you're not saying anything, so it's different.
Well, since we're in Gigi's mansion and it's a new day, I like to call myself New Johnny or Johnny New because, if you were to worship something, you might want to just worship what's new.
Mm-hmm.
And then you knew it and you had it.
Love that.
So Maxie, when are you and Mangione going for your conjugal visit?
Very soon. Especially since he's not getting a death penalty.
Well, good luck. I guess he's got like 100 girls just waiting for him.
Well, he does like Latinas, apparently.
Could you imagine, like, as he's making love to some liberal, progressive feminazi on a conjugal visit, as he's like doing her from behind, and she's screaming, "Free healthcare for all! Free healthcare for all! Healthcare is a human right!"
Who are we talking about, Maxie? Who are you dating?
Luigi Mangione.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's the healthcare serial killer.
Yeah.
Oh, I love him. I wish I could stick any day.
He fucking killed someone.
Bitch, he can kill this boy pussy too. Have you ever looked at him? Girl, come on.
I just love how when like everyone saw his picture, they were like, "Damn, he's fucking hot."
Yeah, he is. I had totally forgotten.
They're like,
free
free Luigi.
Free Luigi right away so I can jump on his dick. Wait, so is he convicted? What's going on?
He's still on trial. His federal charges were dropped, so it's no longer facing a penalty. So it's the state or something, I think. I don't know.
They call me Philly, but I never knew that for like a lot of big cases or like murder cases and stuff, there's like a jury, and it's like 12 random people going to watch the fucking
Stand
trial
on respectfully.
and take a decision.
When this corporation called the United States of America
Are
began,
you for real?
all
Like,
laws that were previously agreed upon on the land before are outside of the USA's jurisdiction, meaning they cannot modify them, they cannot erase them or change them. Be quiet, hold on. That means from the very beginning, the 1500s, when Chief Tuscaloosa, an 8-foot warrior whose name means Black Warrior, Chief Tuscaloosa, right? When he was making contact with the Spaniards in the South, etc., and all the way to Florida, and etc., the laws of the land from that time still apply and supersede the laws of this corporation. Whether you like it, whether it makes you feel cushy or not. Yeah, it doesn't make you feel good, right? And Viking, I know you're triggered. So Viking, I want you to tell me, Viking, when did you, I'll land with this. I want Viking to
Let him land.
But not just Viking. I don't want to just anyone, right? Go back and do your genealogy and see when your family arrived on this land. Guarantee you, none of you collectively outdate who you call Black Americans today. So that's a reality that you all have to sit with. We have the records. We know what we're talking about. Go ahead.
So, I don't know where to begin. Where's Lonzo? I saw him in the chat.
I thought Star was gone.
Hey, we need to bring Lonzo up.
Let's have your speaker. Star, you had something to say?
No, you can hold on.
No, let's.
So, hold on. So, like, again, you got the sovereign.
So you just talking shit and you don't really got nothing to say.
Dude.
Bruh. Come on, man. The fuck, bro?
Viking, skip him.
Y'all, look, man.
Fuck him.
Y'all, I ain't trying to turn into no demon for real, man. You know what I mean? I'm trying to be cool, y'all. Like, let's all you feel me? Let's let people talk. Viking, I'm gonna allow you to speak, and I'm gonna give it to Star, but just don't be 10 minutes,
I
bro.
won't be 10 minutes.
Like, please.
Yeah, no problem. Could you bring Lonzo up? Because, like,
fuck Viking, fuck you. You're not in a
I know your feelings are hurt. I got you. I don't even know. Get on this one about the sovereign corporation, sovereign citizen bullshit. Like, that's a whole different conversation, but that's the first I've ever heard of that. So if your claim is that you were Native American and then you were the true owners of this, I hate to tell you this, but history has proven otherwise. You got conquered. I don't know how to do it. Fuck. Ireland's been conquered, where my ancestors come from. They got their fucking asses reamed, cocked in, whatever you wanted to, exploited, sent to fucking Australia to repopulate that fucking place because the English wanted to fucking decimate the Aboriginals there and put a whole bunch of fucking Irish people there because they were like, ah, you're expendable. So, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Like, history's fraught with bullshit throughout. I feel for you if you're truly connected in some mysticism, but as far as not warring, you're wrong there. Native tribes absolutely warred. But we can go on. They also held slaves, so I mean, I'm not sure where you want to go with that one. But that's sovereign BS, and the corporation, you don't have to obey the laws. Yeah, go ahead, try that. Don't pay taxes. Tell the cop to go fuck himself, and see how long you last. I'm just gonna say you'll probably be on a TikTok video after that. I'm just gonna let you know.
That was stupid.
Okay, so can I speak now?
I'm after Star. Okay, go ahead, girl.
No.
Okay.
Timothy is the mod. He said D is going next. Whoever goes after me can go.
R, D, Tiff, Nathan. That's the order. However long y'all talk, that's on y'all.
It's okay.
I'm putting on a goddamn timer. On my mama, I'm putting on a timer now. So y'all, I'm giving y'all 3 to 4 minutes, man. I ain't even gonna fucking warn you. If you go past that 3 or 4, if you go past 3 minutes, I'm just gonna mute you.
Okay, thank you. I would like to give D my first chance. You talk and then I talk. You said Star then B, right? So let him talk first.
All right.
B, go ahead.
All right, thank you, brothers and sisters. I love this debate. I absolutely love when people come on stage like Viking because they have the articulation to argument a point. However, their emotions get ahead of their rationality in their speech. So let's clear this up. Viking, I think your biggest argument against Black people about reparations is the fact that you just don't want it to be paid out, and you feel like it's going to do a detriment.
Actually, I didn't say that.
No. But this is what I believe, right? So it's kind of the same.
But I didn't say that.
People in your,
I said the
it doesn't
opposite.
matter. This is what I'm saying. So let me land.
So you're gonna say that I said something that I didn't.
Let me land. Can you please?
No, just be. Don't be retarded. Just say it on
Can you
facts.
be mature enough to have a debate?
That's what I'm asking of you.
Unmuting.
No, it's not you talking, Viking.
Listen to me.
So,
all right.
all right.
Keep
Listen,
crying. If you keep crying, stop
I
crying.
got you,
Stop
Pat
being a victim.
Corporal.
Stop being.
Alright, man. I gave fair enough warnings. I don't give a fuck who cool with who now, bro. You feel me? I gave fair enough warnings to everybody, bro. Because now y'all just disrespecting me at this point. I don't appreciate the disrespect. So y'all need to chill out.
All right, I'll land. If I can just relax, keep it mute for a second. I promise you, what I'm gonna say is not gonna be. It's not meant to target you specifically as a person. All right, so let's clear up the land. So a lot of people like you, similar to you, I believe the real root of the problem that you have against Black people receiving reparations is the fact that you feel that is doing too much that America is for Black people. You feel that it's somehow subtracting from your community. You also will make the argument that, well, look, it's the American economy, blah, blah, blah. And then you bring up the fact data statistics of numbers. However, you fail to recognize that we have more than enough number to give reparations to Black people, given the fact that we use excess and more money for war. But I digress. If I were white, to tell you the truth, benefiting from the system with the privileges that I so-called the left claim that I have, I would definitely be against giving reparations to Black people because I would just want white people to be on top and win, right? So I know how you think, and it's nothing new. But what we're going to do is Black people are going to continue to protest for reparations, and hopefully a Democratic elected politician will give the reparations. Now, you can argue that, oh, well, other communities also suffer injustice. What about them? But it was never an argument before when other communities did receive reparations, was it? No. So I would say this, reparations, a lot of people can't articulate how reparations should be given out. Let me land, I will land very soon.
One has the right money, our own money,
That's you, Peter?
not preparation.
Okay. All right, Peter. So a lot of people argue about how should reparations be distributed. Your argument, and you're thinking that, well, they're going to give a check to everyone's mailbox of $100,000, whoever's African American, and prove some genealogy from DNA testing. But I believe that reparations should be paid more than that. It should go back into the Black communities that have been suffering from the corruption from the politicians in our communities, white politicians, Black politicians. It doesn't matter. The U.S. government is in control, and they've allowed the robbing of our communities. The hoods that we see, Gary, Indiana, Detroit, Compton, I can name all the hood across the United States that disproportionately have been looted from their own community, and the reparations should go straight there. Give full funding back to Black elementary schools, middle schools, high schools, and colleges. Rebuild the infrastructure of streets, roads, and houses. give more funding towards youth education and more entertainment for young kids so they can get out of trouble. That is what reparations look like. Put all that money straight to there. Now, Viking, if you have a problem with that, then it's a judgment of your character, because again, I already know you're white. You know, the idea of black people receiving some sort of reparation does tick your bell. I can understand that. And but you're gonna have to get over it. You gotta stop crying, because again, JD Vance is crying about middle class white men not getting what they want in society, but you get mad at white people.
Can I respond to this idiot?
No, it's my time.
Hold on. He fucking said Vikings name like 20 times. So I have to allow. I did, but he's single-handedly called that man out. So I have to give Viking at least.
No, please.
I have to give Viking a chance to respond.
No,
but Viking, you have. I'm putting the stopwatch on. You have 2 minutes, bro.
Sure, no problem.
You.
So I love
first of all,
no, Star, you gotta go after Viking.
Right. Everything,
I'm sorry.
everything he said is right.
No, actually,
you're not about to talk over me. I'm sorry. He said his name 20 times. I have to let him respond.
You have to have.
Hold on. Hold on. See, I don't want to goo you. I don't want to goo you, Star. I'm gonna allow you to speak, but again, he said his name like 20 times. I have to let Viking respond back. Viking, go ahead, brother.
So
please, Lord.
Yeah, no problem. So, like, again, I love the fact that, you know, you have a passport bro living in Japan and telling me what I said when actually I articulated the opposite of it. I talked about patents, copyrights, artwork, music copyrights, infringements, all of these things that were seized. I talked about eminent domain and how all of that should be returned. I talked about investment opportunities that were seized because they end with no fucking protections and no funds given during the Great Depression. I talked about the Montgomery GI Bill. I talked about all that should have been returned to, guess who? Black people. So the idea of saying I didn't want to cut a check was not there. The $100,000 came from the girl that was down there who said, all we need is $1 trillion and we can give everybody $100,000. And I said, you should do the math on that one again. But I mean, maybe you're right. We do need to invest in those community schools because clearly she didn't excel beyond, I don't know, second grade math.
Come at me, you fool.
So again, maybe
he's almost done.
Maybe your argument should have been towards the people who are arguing for reparations with dumb rhetoric and stupid talking points, rather than trying to come to somebody who actually supports legitimate causes and claims for people who have been oppressed, who have suffered massive fucking financial burdens as well as health burdens. I think the government should do a lot more, particularly in the health field. But you never got to that point because you can't articulate it. You can't figure it out because you're a TikTok educator, not a fucking actually a person who sits down and reads a book. But you don't want to talk about the medical fucking trauma and all the malpractice that was done to black minorities, particularly in Jim Crow South. You don't want to give compensation for that because it's never a talking point on yours. You just said, I don't feel like I want to give reparations, when in fact I could probably articulate a case for reparations a lot better than you, and I'm actually pro it.
Okay, so
is that a fact?
It is Star's turn. That's it.
Okay.
I don't want to hear nothing else from nobody else's Star. Go ahead.
Thank you. So first of all, you talked about that he cannot articulate because he's not educated. I want to start off by saying I have 2 masters and 1 degree. Okay, so you cannot you cannot throw me under the ground down by saying, hey, you didn't learn. Now, secondly, I am African, from Kenya specifically. Now, everything that D said in terms of...
You were a slaver. Okay.
Ben destroyed this woman.
Thank you.
Destroyed her.
Now, everything you said about, oh, you know, we have this, guess what the source is from? It's from Africa. Do you know how those sources came to you? And I'm going to talk about human resource. Beginning. The only reason that you had to slave trade resource. That is a resource. The second thing that you said about oh, we are building what? You're not building anything. Even the phone that you and I
The
are
Africans are
building is
building
because
America from Africa.
exists. So when
Everything
they ask for
originated in Africa,
reparations,
therefore
it is
they're building
because first
America.
of all they are it's because they are displaced, and they are displaced because somebody came and discovered them and took them. So everything you're saying is null and void. When you start saying that, I don't know, this country is making more money, the only reason you're making money is because of Africa. You took our men, you took our resource. Even right now as we speak, the phone all of us are using is because Congo people are still mining. Guess who is taking most of that? It is you people. So when they says that we are beautiful, hey, come on, be come on, be
flaming sword,
when
crowned child and conquering lord, Horus, avenger. O thou of the head of the hawk, thee I invoke. Thou only begotten child of Osiris thy father, and Isis thy mother, he that was slain, she that bore thee in her womb, flying from the terror of the water, thee I invoke. O thou whose apron is of flashing white, whiter than the forehead of the morning, thee I invoke. O thou who hast formulated thy father, and made fertile thy mother, thee I invoke. O thou whose garment is of golden glory, with the azure bars of sky, thee I invoke. Thou who didst avenge the horror of death, thou the slayer of Typhon, thou who didst lift thine arms, and the dragons of death were as dust, thou who didst raise thine head, and the crocodile of Nile was abased before thee, thee I invoke. O thou whose menace hideth the universe with night, the impermeable blue, thee I invoke. Thou who travellest in the boat of Ra, abiding at the helm of the Aztec boat, and of the Sextet boat, thee I invoke. Thou who bearest the wand of double power, thee I invoke. To shed the dark and sublime light, the unfathomable glory, the untraveled, the unthinkable immensity of space. Thou who concentrest all the 30 ethers in one darkening sphere of fire, thee I invoke. O thou who bearest the rose and cross of life and light, thee I invoke. The voice of the 5, the voice of the 6, 11 are the voices. Abracadabra. Strike the master chord. Draw the flaming sword. Crowned child and conquering lord, Horus, avenger. By thy name of Ra, I invoke thee, Hawk of the sun, the glorious one. By thy name, Harmachis, youth of the brilliant morn.
Peter wants to talk. Peter is a moderator. He gets to step over everybody. After Peter talks.
Hello, Peter. Please put me in your queue, Peter.
I just need 30 seconds, okay? Because at the first point, she says that you need to pay that. She refers to America as you. She doesn't see herself as American, but she wants the American reparation. She knows herself what she is playing with, but she still plays with that politics because she wants some money. When you want a price tag on your slavery, you are
so when you are taking resources, did you not want the money? When you are taking resources, is it not for the...
You need to do the same. You need to learn
You need to leave us alone with our resources.
Whatever advantage that you have, whatever request that you want for your right, you need to obey that yourself.
As a Russian,
You need to obey that yourself. You need to shut
Now,
up.
one thing we're not gonna do, I let y'all cut off each other, but you're not cutting off these moderators. That's just slow.
Hey, you can't cut off from all you guys.
I would invite her as a speaker if you let me afterwards. But let me finish because she asked me to stop when she wanted to. But she interrupted me whenever she wanted to. This is the thing that is off topic of what she already claims. She claims for the thing that she already oversteps onto that. Thank you for your time.
Hello, moderators. This is Chicago. I'd like to be put in the queue. This is Chicago. Moderators, can I get an acknowledgement and be put in the queue? Thank you.
Okay, but it's on me real quick. Yeah, Peter, that's a real ass nigga. I fucks with him. That's a real one. Anywho, all I'm trying to say is this real fast, y'all. I got my baby.
You said that last time.
Huh?
No, go ahead, I'm listening.
You sound like you fuck with a lot of people, but go ahead.
All I'm saying
Oh, Lord, Brad.
yeah, he tries to I'm gonna get on his ass in a minute. So, the thing I didn't like too much about, Star is she's trying to make it seem like all roads, black people leads back to Africa. And it's a situation. Listen, we helped build this shit, right? Well, my ancestors did. I helped build some shit. I did a little something too. But the situation is, I don't understand why, that African people try to make it seem as if they did so much, and then they want to, have people to respect them or understand them more by saying they have degrees. But you don't even really know what you're talking about for real. And all I'm saying is, right now, we was actually, me in Illinois here, we was actually the first to get reparations, right? And they was paying out the checks, and then some hating ass white lady comes out the blue and wants to freeze, the checks coming in. And I don't respect that. That's some hating ass shit. We actually proved that it was redlining from our little small town that I'm from, and they actually sent for us black people to come from down south. So my people are actually from Mississippi, Georgia, and Tennessee. So I don't understand why that you standing in the way of the reparations. This white lady in particular, I'm gonna have to look her name up. But we were actually getting our checks. Now they froze. I'm not sure if you have something to do with that, Viking.
Yes, because I control the reparations checks that individual towns across America, dole out on their own town councils. That's absurd. Again, the whole whatever. I have 2 master's degree. I mean, from Kenya. I'm sorry, not all master's degrees are equal in this world. They don't have. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. You should have probably applied for a student visa and came to college here. Probably would have learned a lot more. As far as you asking for reparations and blaming the colonization, first I'm going to start. You guys, notoriously from Kenya had a slave trade. You had no problem cutting off fucking people's balls and fucking sterilizing them with hot fucking rods and then selling them in the Arab slave trade markets. You had no fucking problem on that. In fact, you conquered you conquered people from various regions from Kenya. So in terms of saying that, hey, people came from Europe to take it, they showed up with a rowboat and 5 motherfuckers. You know how big those ships were, the schooners? They held about 30 people back in the day. So you mean to tell me this vast warrior nation that was so proud and full of kings like Kenya all of a sudden kowtowed to 30 people? No. What they did is said, hey, we have a bunch of slaves here. Would you guess what? All these people that come work for you for free, we captured them, we took them, we held them in bondage. Oh, by the way, we sterilized them. And you know what you did? You sold them and took profits, and you said, oh, we're great, we did this shit. And then, you helped did that slave trade for literally massive amounts of centuries. Not just decades, but centuries. You can shut the fuck up. You can sit down. You're another one that does not belong in the conversation. Okay, so like, you know what? I'll just tell you this: you're the actual reason that Caribbean and Black Americans have to fucking acknowledge and say, no, you don't get a fucking choice or a voice in it because you were the predecessor. You started the whole shit. Like Portuguese didn't come there conquering land. The Dutch didn't come there conquering land until much later. You guys sold people, children, and everybody else because you're dumb, retarded ass, and now you're asking for reparations. Meanwhile, you haven't even evolved past the fucking wheel. You're still committing massive amounts of genocides, killing people, whether they're a Houthi or a Tutsi, and you don't give a fuck about it. You're still fucking going so hard. You're still going killing massive fucking tribal influences. So, I mean, you're just fucking retarded. And also, as far as Kenya goes, don't sit there and tell literally Americans what they owe Africa because America never conquered or colonized Africa. Yes, we gave money. Yes, we asked for resources from that. But America never went in and colonized that shit. So asking us for a check to your fucking country is bullshit because America never fucking conquered Kenya. You want to talk about people who owe you? Maybe you should look internally at some of your lineage that go up there and say, I'm for the revolution. I want parity. I want equal. I want all this. And they descend from fucking, guess what? Slave-holding fucking tribes. And they claim that heritage like a fucking badge on their chest. So spare me all that shit when you come from Africa talking on behalf of fucking American politics and saying how much you are owed. Like, get the fuck out of here. Until you fucking go beyond the wheel and figure out something to invent other than slaughter, then maybe I'll listen to you.
Well, Michael Chicago.
Okay, this Nathan, I got the mic here. Okay, I just want to read from the Department of Justice. This was a press release regarding the Evanston, Chicago, Illinois reparations. Today, the Department of Justice Civil Rights Division moved to intervene in a lawsuit challenging a program by the city of Evanston, Illinois, that distributes cash payments and financial assistance for housing solely to Black persons and their descendants, and not to similarly situated persons of other races. The United States proposed complaint and intervention alleges that the city's actions violate the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment and the Fair Housing Act, under the pretext of paying reparations for events more than 100 years ago. The city of Evanston has chosen to distribute millions and millions of dollars in cash and housing benefits to people because of the color of their skin or the color of the skin of their parents, grandparents, or great-grandparents, said Assistant Attorney General Harmeet K. Dillon of the Justice Department's Civil Rights Division. There are sound ways for a city to remedy past discrimination or direct resources to its most vulnerable citizens and neighborhoods. Simply handing out money based on race, however, is not the answer. It is race discrimination, pure and simple, and it is illegal. The Supreme Court has repeatedly affirmed that government actions classifying citizens by race are presumptively unconstitutional, said U.S. Attorney Andrew S. Boutros for the Northern District of Illinois. The Constitution demands that the government treats citizens as individuals, not as members of a racial class. Distributing public funds based on an individual's ancestry or race divides the citizenry and establishes the very hierarchy the Equal Protection Clause was designed to dismantle. In 2019, the city adopted the Local Reparations Restorative Housing Program. Under this program, Black persons who lived in the city of Evanston as an adult at any time between 1919 and 1969, as well as their children, grandchildren, or great-great-great-grandchildren, can receive $25,000 for free in the form of a cash payment, which the recipient can use for anything they want, or financial assistance for purchasing, repairing, or maintaining a primary residence in the city. The city has not identified any specific acts of discrimination. All right, I'll just read you the last little sentence here. The United States alleges that the program violates the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment. It also alleges that by offering and providing financial assistance for housing because of race, the city has violated the Fair Housing Act. I rest my case.
Yeah, so I'm back.
You never did, but it doesn't matter to anybody.
I have all that. You didn't talk about
That money is from
One mic on night then.
I appreciate it. I like to make some severe points, and we Black Americans who've been here have to protect the dignity of reparations and things like that. And we go from recent events. You don't go all the way back to the start of the country. You go from recent events, and that's Jim Crow, right? Both my grandfathers served in World War II. So it's kind of weird that somebody from another country, like Africa, is speaking on reparations. I get it, but sometimes you can do more harm than good. It's a legal case, and it's kind of strange to me. You gotta learn history. Trying in wars that was going on in Africa, the colonizers took advantage of it, and other people captured people from war and sold them off to slavery. That's what happened, right? And you can't ignore it. Some of these African countries or tribes had slaves their own. So, you have to learn your history and to realize what's happening. I don't agree with all black people, blanket black people getting payment from America. I agree with the people that built America, who was here, who experienced Jim Crow and slavery as well. Those descendants and those family members specifically should get reparations. But if you chose to come to this country in the 80s, 70s, 90s, and the 2000s, if you're a black person from diaspora, from other countries, stuff like that, you chose to come to this country and you knew what this country was about. Same thing I say to white people who came to this country in the early 1900s and say, well, I came here, I didn't enslave anybody. Well, you chose to come to a country that owned slaves, and you have to pay its debts. It's not that hard to comprehend when we have many illustrations of reparations from World War I, World War II. They talk about reparations right now for Ukraine. All this type of stuff. We need it for universal health care, money back payments, land payments. Many things happen. Big booms happen in this country. The gold rush happened. The oil rush happened. Many things happened, and black people were left out of it, black Americans, right? So I'm not going to sit here and just outright attack somebody because they almost agree with what I agree on. There's certain white people out here who just tell you, hell no. They won't acknowledge anything whatsoever about paying anything. And that's not good, but we can talk about it and have this conversation, but the black Americans who've been here not by choice, and also to my last point about an hour ago, the Chinese had a choice to go back home. They were not enslaved. They was not forced to be here to live under any type of harsh conditions. They could have got on back on their ship and went back home. Black Americans didn't have that choice. We could get back on the ship and go back anywhere. We was enslaved. And it's sad that other black people outside of America don't understand that and actually hurt some of the causes and what we're trying to get. It's just crazy to me, but it's really simple and straightforward. And a lot of people from the diaspora actually come from the same families who sold black people into slavery. That's why they hate us so much. It's weird, but hey. But all I gotta say is that, that's what I had to say. It's crazy.
The situation is, you can get on this ad and whoop and holler about reparations, but if you don't have the people or the resources or coming together as a community to push it, it's never going to happen for you. You have to actually be in the rooms with people that's not against it and not hating. The reason the situation is, it's not just black Americans that help to get reparations with our communities, of where I'm from. We have Haitians, we have Jews, everyone agrees on one thing. that from town that I'm from, we deserve it. If you've never been to my town, you're not gonna understand it. So all this hooping and hollering about something never is gonna happen, it was actually emotion. Still emotion. You know, and that's just what it is.
See, the problem, Tiff, you're going to have to take from other people to give to other people. So why should people have to sacrifice themselves for other people? Hello?
You don't. Chicago, listen, don't interrupt me while I'm talking, but for one, no. For one, the money is coming from my town specifically for cannabis tax. So how is that necessarily taken from other people if it's coming from my town?
As I read, it creates a racial hierarchy.
Grandparents helped build that fucking town.
Well, let's all get on our knees and worship your grandparents, Tiff.
The taxes, but do you know where taxes come from?
Did you hear what I kidded?
Hello?
I'm trying to break it down to split white boys that don't take showers. Okay?
I think they're being dense on purpose. Because there is no way she tells you that she told you that her grandfather built it. So.
Built Chicago? Wow. One man.
Idiot, how? Don't you read? Don't you go to school? Don't you have books? You don't read anything. You just come and you. Excuse me. Right now we are all using phones because Africa exists.
Yeah, you guys invented the phone.
It is true. The same way Tiff said, everything else in your company was built by her grandparents, great-grandparents, and they came there because it was by force. It was not by choice. And even when you say, oh, yeah, man, this one's sold, that's okay. But guess what? Majority of the people jumped into the ocean. So if it was consensual, why were they jumping into the ocean?
Oh, you're responsible
and
for genocide.
Excuse me also, no, please, can you please mute? Excuse everything. Right now when we talk, the black women, when they were even the Wi-Fi was by a black woman. You all rewrote that shit. You said, so what Tiff is saying is right. Everything you own is by us. And guess what? If it is false, why is it that your governments are still fighting to be in Africa? Why is it when Traore says, okay, you people go? Why is it that when our people say, oh no, okay, fine, let the white man go? Why is it that you're still fighting? You know why? Because you don't exist without us. And guess what? You also have fur. You don't have human hair. That's because your ancestors fucked animals. The reason why you have funny hair and you smell funny when it rains is because you guys fucked animals. Period.
Oh, I want to answer this one.
It is all biology. It is all biology.
One mic on Peter.
If I would have told this to her, she would have marked me as racist. But she can't tell that and go away with us.
You can be racist. You're already racist. You're already racist. And guess what? You have fur. You don't have hair.
Okay.
You have fur. You know what?
One mic on Peter.
Do you know why you have fur? Because your ancestors.
One mic on Peter.
No, don't mute me because Peter.
I'm gonna mute the fuck out of you. You know what?
He's talking shit.
Nah,
and you know,
bro. I'm up now, bro. Y'all niggas ain't finna keep disrespecting me, bro. Now I'm on that with everybody on this fucking stage, nigga.
Timothy, can you let me know when I can get in?
Yeah, you could go right after Peter.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And me after CEO, Timothy.
Yes, sir. You can go right after, bro. But I'm not tolerating no more disrespect, bro. I don't know who the fuck y'all think y'all is respectfully. I'm not tolerating no more disrespect, bro. Like, y'all got me fucked up. So, all that interrupting shit, all that coming off the mic shit, that shit's slow. That shit's slow, bro. So, if you in the goo, it's me. Go ahead, Peter.
Thank you. Just for the clarification, she said there was disgusting sentencing and she marked me as racist. At the same time. Both of this happened at the same time. And for inventing mobile and thing, I don't see relevance to the Africa. For example, when the mobile was brought to this world, it was introduced by United States. United States is comprised with different tribes, from black, white, Jews, Muslims, and I believe that Jews have a very big, a very effective role inside promoting programming of mobile and this kind of technology. And based on what I know, United States is responsible for the current technology that I'm using. And United States is a country very far from Africa. Even Africa used the advantage of United States. If United States was not on this planet,
Peter, she's referring to the rare earth minerals.
I am not an American, but these are the facts. Thank you for the time that you gave me.
No,
Okay,
thank you, Peter.
One of the biggest problems with reparation conversation is no one ever has anything specific to respond to. So I'm gonna put a proposal on the table. I want to hear those who oppose the idea think of this proposal. So let's say we take the $300 that was given.
Used of the brilliant morning, I invoke thee. By thy name, Mao, I invoke thee, lion of the midday sun. By thy name, Tum, hawk of the evening, crimson splendor of the sunset, I invoke thee. By thy name, Kethra, I invoke thee, O beacon of the hidden mastery of midnight. By thy name, Murvar, Lord of silence, beautiful child that stands on the dragons of the deep, I invoke thee. By thy name of Apollo, I invoke thee, O man of strength and splendor, O poet, O father. By thy name of Phoebus, that drivest thy chariot through the heavens, Zeus, I invoke thee. By thy name of Odin, I invoke thee, O warrior of the north, O renown of the sagas. By thy name of Yahashua, O child of the flaming star, I invoke thee. By thine own, thy secret name, Uri, thee I invoke. The names are 5, the names are 6, 11 are the names. Abracadabra. Behold, I stand in the midst. Mine is the symbol of Osiris. To thee are mine eyes ever turned. Unto the splendor of Gabora, the magnificence of Hesed, the mystery of Da'ath, thither I lift up mine eyes. This have I sought, and I have sought the unity. Hear thou me. Mine is the head of the man, and my insight is keen as the hawk's. By my head I invoke thee. I am the only begotten child of my father and mother. By my body I invoke thee. About